You know, I spend about 20 minutes every single night in my office before a show trying to figure out a different way Shohei Ohtani is reinventing the game, how he's rewriting the rules of baseball. I don't think people understand. I know he didn't start tonight's game, and he's got an ERA over 3 right now because his last 4 starts haven't been as dominant. But he is on pace to make history, and it's history that you're a part of. Right now, Shohei Ohtani has over 50 innings of work and has not surrendered 25 hits. If you look at his on-pace numbers, he has a chance. Look at the bottom of your screen. He has a chance to pitch 200 innings and not allow 100 hits in a season. He's on pace to give up 102 in 207 innings. What you're looking at are the pitchers who threw at least 200 innings in MLB history with the fewest hits allowed. Pedro, in 217 innings, gave up 128 hits. Max Scherzer, in almost 17 fewer innings, gave up 2 fewer hits than you did. Your 2000 season, I think, is the greatest pitching season of all time. It was in the peak of the steroid era, and Tim Hudson finished second. Tim Hudson finished second AL Cy Young with an ERA over 4. The next best ERA was a 3.7. It was Roger Clemens. Yours was a what? A 1.71. It was a ridiculous pitching performance. So I understand you didn't give him any hits, but Shohei Ohtani, while he's hitting, he's got 10 home runs now, could be the first pitcher of all time to give up fewer than 100 hits in 200 innings. As one of the greatest pitchers of all time, what do you make of that?
I think it's just unbelievable, and it's hard for me because you just brought up some numbers that I wasn't aware of. I mean, I never pay attention to those little details of the game, but nowadays with all the analytics and stuff like that, it's hard to imagine because I was a starting pitcher. I don't know how it was for you, Dan, but for me, the first 3 days of the week after I had pitched, I would say the first 4 days were like the dog days for me. The easiest day for me was the day I pitched because all I had to do was just go out there, warm myself up, stretch my arms, stretch my legs, and get out there and pitch for 9 innings. And I didn't feel as fatigued as I would feel the day after I pitched. And the second day, where you have to do legs, core, run for an hour, what impresses me the most is how he gets himself ready to go out there, try to battle so many great teams in the American League for 7, sometimes 8, and maybe 9, who knows? And at the same time, train himself to run the bases, to be on his feet every day. We just saw in the highlight how he bit that play. I mean, the pitcher had no chance to outrun Shohei Ohtani, and that's on a daily basis. And then you have to swing the bat, run the bases, do all those things. I'm curious to know how he trains himself to hit and pitch as a starter, because as a starter is different than as a reliever.
Look at his last start against the Orioles. Think about this, Pedro. You're out there pitching. You're going to throw nearly 100 pitches. You're going to give up a few runs. You give up a couple of home runs. You come out of the game, and then he has the big hit. He has the game-winning hit later on, after he's come out of a game as a starter. You know and I know, when you're out there and you're hyper-focused on pitching and you're done, you sit down in the dugout. I pitched an inning in 2/3 of relief. They said, that's it. You sat down, you're like, whew, you take a deep breath. He's still got to go hit. Like, you can't just totally relax and shut down because you're about to go up there and face some of the best pitching in the world after you've just pitched. Now the Angels want you to go out there and get a big hit, and he's able to do that. I don't know how he does it.
And you know, one other thing to add to that, Greg, is that pitching takes so much energy out of you. It's like when you're starting that game and you're so focused on the things that you need to do, you have to kind of just grind yourself through a game, like he had against Baltimore. And then you don't stop there. All the energy you wasted making those perfect pitches and trying to get by in that game. And teams like Baltimore will give you a headache. The Yankees will give you a headache, Toronto. And he battles for 7 or 8. And then all of a sudden you have to go to the dugout and get ready to pick up a bat and go run the bases and get ready to actually read what the pitcher wants to do to you.
He's
I
unbelievable.
mean, the amount of energy he has to use is unreal.